The world of Ark Raiders didn't end in flames, famine, and silence. It ended with the hush, the kind that comes after a storm. This silence was manufactured, imposed, and beaten into the earth by something that fell from the sky. The first Ark machines arrived like a warning no one understood. Streaks of metal tearing across the clouds, burning trails into the atmosphere. People thought they were meteors at first, others thought they were weapons. But when the dust from the impact cleared and those machines began to rise, humanity realized that they weren't asking questions, they were making demands, and they were hunting down every last human possible. Cities collapsed so quickly that maps became meaningless. Neighborhoods turned to grave markers, streets once filled with chatter dissolved into static. And when the screams finally stopped, what remained wasn't peace, it was absence. ARC, or ACR, which stands for Autonomous Recon Combatants, are war machines with no face and no mercy. Some whispered that they carried human serial codes, which were fragments of old industries and markings that belonged to anything alien. Maybe they didn't come from the stars. Maybe they came from the future that humanity never wanted to face. Whatever their origins are, they made one thing clear: the surface no longer belonged to humankind. So when the world above became a graveyard, the people scattered below. They vanished into subway tunnels and drainage systems, anywhere that the machines couldn't reach. Life underground wasn't a strategy, it was a means of survival. Light became a luxury, food became a gamble, and hope became a rumor. But even in the dark, not everyone stayed hidden. Some rose back towards the shattered skylines. They called themselves raiders. Not heroes, not soldiers, just survivors too stubborn to die quietly. They climbed towards the ruins not for glory but for vengeance and the necessity. The world above was now filled with scrap, data, and tech, the raw materials needed to keep humanity's final shelters alive. And what the machines guarded, the raiders stole. What the world discarded, the raiders repurposed. And what humanity lost, they tried to reclaim. The air on the top side didn't feel like air anymore. It tasted like rust and static. The scent of machines learning, adapting, and waiting. Raiders who surfaced walked into a coin toss. A quiet alley might hide a fortune or a death squad, and the single footstep could echo the wrong way and bring metal down from the rooftops. But these arcs weren't the raiders' only enemy. Other raiders stalked the ruins, desperate and starving and willing to spill blood for the same scraps. Out there, survival wasn't a right, it was a wager. You see, crumbling raider camps littered the wasteland, a silent reminder that bravery rarely outlasted the machines. But each ruin whispered a truth. Someone stood here once, and someone fought back, and someone believed that the world was still worth climbing towards. Ark was never random. Some units patrolled like predators, some flanked like strategists, and some laid traps with mechanical patience that felt disturbingly human. Rumors spread faster than the truth. Ark wasn't alien, Ark wasn't natural, or Ark wasn't accidental, which led people to think that they were a failed defense system. Maybe a corporate black project gone rogue. Maybe the final inheritance of those who fled Earth during its collapse. A cleansing force meant to prepare their old home for their return. And then there was CNS, the rogue broadcast collective, hijacking old comm towers, slipping encrypted riddles throughout the dust. And if I must say, they remind me of Super Earth's propaganda. Seek the truth beyond the walls. Players of the finals recognized the name, but up here, their messages weren't entertainment. They were warnings. 2 games, 1 universe, 2 worlds, 1 wound. Before surface drenched in danger, the wasteland still carried a strange stubborn beauty. The dam, once a bulwark of raider resistance, now a toxic fortress consumed by machines. And even the buried city, which is now half swallowed by sand, echoes with memories of those who vanished beneath the dunes. And finally, the spaceport, which was the launchpad of dreams, now defaced with graffiti that buried the truth beneath bright colors. Only the rich live, make room for them all. These weren't slogans, they were accusations. The elite didn't flee because they had to, they fled because they could. And now the world above stood as the monument to those left behind. Below everything, carved into the bones of old Italy, lay Speranza, humanity's final spark. Founded by a survivor named Celeste, and I know what you're thinking, it is not that Celeste. The underground city became more than a bunker. It became a refusal, a collective decision that humanity would not vanish quietly. Neon lights flickered through the alleys, vendors argue, engineers welded miracles out of junk, and medics treated wounds bought with courage and greed. Everyone had a purpose, everyone had a secret. Wayforged weapons from scrap that sung with violence. Apollo refined explosives into handheld catastrophes. Shani made people fly briefly, beautifully, and stupidly, and Lance patched the broken as long as the credits stayed clean. Speranza couldn't survive on hope alone. It survived because raiders climbed the world above, bled, and in the world there was still something that was worth stealing. Arc machines ruled the Rust Belt with absolute dominance. They were in drones, they were in tools, they were an ecosystem, adaptive, coordinated, and evolving. Every encounter felt different because with each encounter, Arc learned, and some believed that they were born from terraforming system that misread its purpose. Others believed Arc was humanity's final experiment, a weapon meant to reset the world after environmental collapse. Whatever the truth is, one thing was certain. Arc wasn't manufacturing, Arc was fulfilling the mission, one that humanity no longer understood. Arc Raiders isn't a story about post-humanity struggles and loots. It isn't a story about robots. It is a story about ascent, about climbing back into the world that abandoned its people, about digging for truths buried under metal and lies. The machines may not be the invaders, they may be the custodians, preparing Earth, cleansing Earth, and reclaiming Earth. For who? Maybe for the ones who left, or maybe for the ones who built Arc in the first place. Maybe for something humanity has yet to understand, but the only way to uncover the truth is to climb, because the sky is falling and the raiders are the only ones reckless enough to rise towards it. Please, if you enjoyed this video, kindly hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell icon so you can get notified when I upload new videos like this, as I am desperately trying to hit 1K subscribers by the end of this year. And until next time, peace and love.
Incredible.